Pablo Torre, who, if there was an award for Journalist of the Year, he would definitely get it, recently went on Morning Joe, which is a news program of all places. And during his visit on Morning Joe, he was asked to kind of weigh in on, well, the host was essentially asking him, why didn't LeBron decide to go to Cleveland? Like, he thought that would have been a kind of picture perfect ending for this guy to kind of end his career. And Pablo began to essentially unload on him and say, look, LeBron does things for narratives. He's doing all of this as a way to ring chase to catch Michael Jordan, because there's this obsession with these guys.
The NBA media machine has completely lost control, and this summer might be its biggest breaking point yet. Every single headline seems designed to protect one superstar, tear down another, and rewrite basketball history in real time. The question is, who's actually telling the truth anymore? And once you see how these narratives are built, you may never look at the GOAT debate the same way again. Non-stop arguments over all-time rankings, blockbuster superstar moves, endless debates over who deserves the credit and who deserves the blame. Basketball fans aren't just exhausted anymore. They're starting to question the entire conversation. Because at what point does defending a player's legacy become more important than judging what actually happened on the court? That controversy exploded again after Pablo Torre's comments about LeBron James and Philadelphia. Some agree with his criticism. Others believe it's just another example of the media twisting every move into a legacy battle. Then there's another debate that refuses to die, with old-school basketball fans insisting they'd still take a prime Grant Hill or Penny Hardaway over LeBron in certain conversations. So who's right? And why do these arguments keep getting more heated every single year? Drop your opinion in the comments, because this debate isn't slowing down anytime soon. In fact, it's getting even more explosive. Turn on ESPN, open social media, listen to any basketball podcast. Everywhere you look, another polished storyline is waiting for you. Every superstar decision instantly becomes a battle over legacy, reputation, and historical rankings. And according to many fans, that's exactly where the problem begins. Because instead of simply breaking down basketball, the conversation often turns into something much bigger. Every quote gets dissected. Every decision gets reinterpreted. Every championship, every loss, every trade suddenly becomes evidence for one side of the GOAT debate or the other. Some fans believe the analysis has become so agenda-driven that the actual basketball is getting buried underneath the narratives. And that's exactly why this conversation has become one of the most controversial topics in the NBA today.
You guys know that this NBA media is obsessed with creating narratives around LeBron James, right? And they even did this with his latest move where he decided to join the Philadelphia 76ers. I want to give you guys the what do you call it? The practical application of what I'm talking about here. Just yesterday, I responded to a post on X, all right? And I want to put up the post here. It says, reports indicate LeBron James's court vision saw the dysfunction within the Lakers organization and decided to leave, right? Via Lakers lead. And we all know that this is total nonsense.
LeBron James' exit from Los Angeles didn't just dominate headlines. It instantly ignited another massive NBA narrative war. Almost overnight, some claimed LeBron saw serious problems brewing inside the Lakers organization and bailed before everything fell apart. It's a dramatic story, but is it really that simple? Another explanation quickly gained traction. Reports surrounding LeBron's camp suggested the biggest issues were contract value and the opportunity to compete for a championship immediately. His camp reportedly believed he deserved a deal reflecting his full value, while the Lakers, led by Rob Pelinka and the front office, had different long-term priorities. When that blockbuster extension reportedly never materialized, Philadelphia emerged as the next destination. That's not just controversy. That's business. That's superstar leverage. And depending on who you ask, it's either a smart career move or the latest chapter in the never-ending legacy debate.
Not like he needed the money. He certainly is not getting paid the way he was paid throughout his career. why wouldn't you exit gracefully through Cleveland? Why wouldn't you go back home after the Miami debacle? Why wouldn't you go back home and just have a beautiful bookend? And, you know, he can stand in the stadium, fists raised in the air, saying, I am Akron.
So Philadelphia was the most shocking of all the choices for the reasons you say. LeBron has a bit of a paradox to him. He is the most narratively sensitive character I've ever seen in modern American sports. He is constantly, I think, aware on some level of the documentary he is starring in, and in fact is a pioneer in sports in terms of having a production company, of being a human television show, and all of that is true on the one hand. And so why does he do this?
But the conversation didn't stop there. The media quickly turned LeBron's move into a battle over what it supposedly really meant. That's when investigative journalist Pablo Torre weighed in during an appearance on Morning Joe, offering one of the sharpest takes yet. Asked why LeBron didn't finish his career with a storybook return to Cleveland, Torre argued that LeBron is one of the most narrative-conscious athletes in modern American sports, fully aware that every major career decision becomes another chapter in his legacy. In Torre's view, Philadelphia wasn't about a Hollywood ending. It was a calculated basketball move by a superstar who knows his championship window is rapidly closing.
So Philadelphia was the most shocking of all the choices for the reasons you say. LeBron has a bit of a paradox to him. He is the most narratively sensitive character I've ever seen in modern American sports. He is constantly, I think, aware on some level of the documentary he is starring in, and in fact is a pioneer in sports in terms of having a production company, of being a human television show, and all of that is true on the one hand. And so why does he do this? Right? This is not the ideal ending from any screenwriting perspective. And what it does to me is it asserts LeBron James as a figure for whom his story is not one that can be peer pressured into existence. Like, LeBron shows something that I think is fascinating and also inconvenient, right? This is not a fan base in Philly that was crying out for LeBron, but what he's going to do is say to them, hey, you haven't won a title since 1983.
Then Pablo Torre dropped the phrase guaranteed to ignite the NBA world: ring chasing. He argued that Philadelphia gives LeBron James a chance to make history by becoming the first player to win NBA championships with 4 different franchises. Add the possibility of ending Philadelphia's championship drought of more than 40 years, and it becomes another massive boost to his legacy. But that's where the debate explodes. Is chasing one more ring late in a legendary career something to criticize? Or does repeatedly joining title contenders change how those championships should be remembered? When every move is reduced to rings, rankings, and legacy points, the conversation stops being about basketball and becomes a fight over history itself. And beneath it all is the shadow of Michael Jordan. Yet Jordan doesn't appear interested in today's non-stop legacy wars. He's not worried about social media, YouTube debates, or the latest GOAT rankings. These days, he's enjoying life, luxury yachts, vacations, cigars, family, and his involvement in NASCAR, while letting his resume speak for itself. 6 championships, 6 finals wins, and one of the greatest careers in NBA history. Ironically, the last time Jordan reportedly entered a major legacy debate, it wasn't to defend himself. He backed Magic Johnson when the basketball world questioned whether Stephen Curry had surpassed Magic as the greatest point guard ever. Michael Jordan seems perfectly content letting his resume do the talking, while fans and analysts keep inventing new ways to restart the GOAT debate. And that's where things get out of control. Once people start using social media followings or YouTube subscribers as basketball arguments, the conversation has completely lost the plot. Longevity matters. Championships matter. Peak dominance matters. But many believe none of those should be replaced with made-up internet metrics. Critics argue LeBron James' pursuit of more championships after turning 40 makes his legacy feel increasingly calculated. His supporters fire back that playing elite basketball at that age is historic in itself. Either way, every season, contract, and roster move somehow becomes fresh evidence in the never-ending Jordan versus LeBron debate. That obsession leads straight into another NBA culture war. A Vio podcast clip featuring Tim Hardaway Sr. and Lindsey Hunter reignited generational tensions after they were asked whether they'd take prime Grant Hill or prime Penny Hardaway over LeBron James. Both veterans reportedly answered yes without hesitation, and the internet instantly exploded. LeBron supporters immediately fired back, flooding comment sections and labeling former players bitter and jealous old heads. But there's another side to this story. For years, basketball media has turned criticizing past generations into entertainment. J.J. Redick, Gilbert Arenas, Brandon Jennings, and Nick Young have all fueled debates over whether legends from earlier eras could survive in today's NBA. Larry Bird has been questioned. Bob Cousy's competition has been mocked. Even Michael Jordan's era has been reduced to the infamous milkmen and plumbers jokes. So what happens when those retired players finally respond? They judge today's superstars by their own standards. You can't spend years clowning an entire generation and then act shocked when that generation fires back. That's why this debate has become such a mess. The hypocrisy is impossible to ignore. Some fans dismiss retired legends as old heads, yet praise veteran stars who are still competing at the highest level. The reality is every era had different rules, spacing, defensive schemes, training methods, and styles. Claiming one generation automatically destroys another creates viral content, but rarely creates honest basketball discussion. And while everyone else is trapped in legacy wars, Victor Wembanyama is writing a completely different story. At just 22, the San Antonio Spurs superstar has already earned major defensive recognition, and the conversation has shifted from his potential to just how unstoppable his ceiling could become. Then summer rumors poured gasoline on the hype, as reports and viral photos sparked speculation that the French phenom may have grown again, possibly approaching 7'6" after being seen alongside Rudy Gobert. Whether every online measurement is accurate or not, one thing is undeniable: Victor Wembanyama already looks like a basketball cheat code. But according to Jamal Crawford, it's not just his size that stands out, it's his mind. Crawford said Wembanyama absorbed advanced scoring concepts at an unbelievable pace, even earning 2 signature moves from the 3-time Sixth Man of the Year. Crawford compared his approach to collecting the Marvel Infinity Stones, constantly adding new weapons to a skill set the NBA may have never seen before. What impressed Crawford even more was Wembanyama's mentality. While many stars embrace fame, social media, and branding, the 22-year-old has publicly questioned why players chase attention instead of chasing greatness. That old-school mindset has many fans believing he could bring real rivalries and competitive fire back to the NBA. The same relentless edge that defined Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. And maybe that's the heart of this entire debate. Pablo Torre can call LeBron James move ring chasing. Veterans can argue that prime Grant Hill and Penny Hardaway deserve more respect. Fans can defend either side. But these are opinions, not unquestionable facts. Greatness isn't decided by narratives. It's decided on the hardwood. As the next generation rises and the GOAT debate refuses to die, one thing is certain: basketball's biggest arguments are far from over, and neither are we. So now it's your turn. Is Victor Wembanyama bringing back the NBA's old-school competitive edge? Has LeBron's legacy changed after everything we've covered? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to Hoop Lab, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest NBA debates, breaking stories, and deep dives. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.